Decktech time, everybody. We have Golgari Broodscale again. Yup, we're here again. Only real changes are the slightest changes to the mana base and the slightest changes to the sideboard. Because we do have a Toxic Deluge in the board and the 4th Thoughtseize over the Damping Spheres. Because the Damping Spheres only really do anything against Storm and Amulet. Every other matchup don't really care about them, and we can just play 4 Thoughtseizes because they also cover Belcher. They are still good against Storm, they are still good against Amulet, and to be fair, Amulet also has a lot of answers against the Damping Spheres. Not like they do play 4 Bosages or something like this. No, they would never. So that's the change here, and we also changed our mana base just the slightest bit. Like, we are playing 4 fetch lands to have more access to our black mana. Problem still stands. The Golgari variant does have worse mana than the Gruul variant, but I do prefer the impact of those sideboard cards, and Sephiroth also is a better card than the Risen Chrysalis in my opinion. So let's run like this and let's see where it goes. We're not running it like this, not like this. No, you still have to do one thing. Like, as I already said in the last video, currently I'm busy with loads of weddings. For some reason all my friends decide to marry each other. I have no idea why anybody would do that. Jokes aside. Really busy right now, so not that many videos. But I would still appreciate some feedback, especially with Edge of Eternities releasing to Magic Online tomorrow. I already have one real sweet deck list ready to go. Just have to find the time to record it. But if there's something you want to see, leave a comment. If you enjoy Broodscale, if you enjoy the content I create, please consider leaving a like, sharing the video and subscribing. But now we'll just head to the games. Have a good one. Hola! We're running back Broodscale. This hand looks like a keep. We're on the draw. Played the game at locals now already. I really like it. I really think this could be the next deck I play at tournaments. Opponent leads with Barbarian Ring and Spence Riftbolt, so we're playing against Burn. So our Vexing Bauble, usually not the card you want to draw right here. I'm glad we drew it. That sounds like a real winner to me, countering the Riftbolt with the Bauble. I take it. And I'm really considering playing this deck at the next tournaments. Maybe I'm even playing it at the RC now. The meta will change. Edge of Eternities will be illegal on Modo tomorrow, I think. So there will obviously be a lot of changes. But so far, I'm really happy with this deck. I think I'll just get rid of the DRC while I can and create some spawns so we're able to potentially just combo next turn. Done. Opponent does have the Seal of Fire, so it's not really likely that we're able to actually combo. But we do have 2 blades in the Broodscale. And maybe we can just make our opponent use the Seal on the Fleshraker right here. So let's lead with the Fleshraker and let's play a blade to try to make our opponent use the Seal to get rid of the Fleshraker. Just run out the second blade, because we can make a token while we're at it. Our opponent gets rid of the Fleshraker. Doesn't answer the Fleshraker in response. So now our Fleshraker is out of reach for the Seal of Fire. Interesting. We ping our opponent some more. Yeah, our opponent will be able to just get rid of the Broodscale now. Just make him do it. I'll go for the equip right now. There's the Seal of Fire. Our Fleshraker triggers an additional time. We have the big Fleshraker, so I think I'm just happy where we are. Let's just pass a turn. What are your thoughts? Like, we're playing the Golgari list again. I really like Sephiroth in the list, but I also really like Thoughtseize and so on. I think the cards in this list are better than in the Gruul variant, but the Gruul variant does have better mana. But so far, I do prefer the higher card quality over the best. Also thinking of maybe playing a White Splash, because Guide of Souls, for example, does also go infinite together with the Broodscale combo. It's just infinite life though, but it's also infinite energy. And sometimes you just have a Broodscale in play, combo next turn because your opponent doesn't have remove, and then you can't connect with the Broodscale because your opponent can't just jump it away. With Guide giving it flying could also work, and I do think playing turn 1 Guide of Souls into turn 2 Glaring Fleshraker sounds absolutely disgusting, and I'm all in for it. Oh, we just draw 2nd Broodscale. That's definitely a draw if I've ever seen one. Opponent scoops it up onto sideboarding. And also Nature's Claim because sometimes you can just get rid of one of your own things to gain life. They have some enchantments. Maybe they play Eidolon. We've not seen them, but there's always a possibility. And we're taking out Emrakul because that's too slow. We're taking out one of the blades because there should be an abundance of those. And we're also getting rid of the Soulguide Lantern because the opponent did play DRC. But we do have the push as an answer, and Graveyard Raid is not really where we want to be at. So let's run it like this. This hand looks decent. We have turn 1 Halfling. Could potentially play turn 2 Sephiroth, but most importantly, we do have Sephiroth with the Kozilek's command to gain a lot of life. So let's keep it. Opponent leads with the DRC. Probably the best thing they could have. And we'll just play a Halfling. We don't really have anything currently to contest the DRC. We don't really have any threatening creatures except for Sephiroth, but he is also only really good together with other stuff. And we don't even have the colorless mana to play the Kozilek's command, to be fair. Which is actually the real way I think this list is flooding from time to time. Mana screwed. I don't really have a problem of having black mana for Sephiroth and the sidebar card. It's more that I regularly don't have colorless mana to play my Eldrazi stuff. Let's grab a tomb. I think I just run out the Broodscale naked. I think I'm happy to just block the DRC or just adapt it next turn. There is a Seal of Fire. Gold Wave. Okay, so we're down to 10 already. And most importantly, they do get Delirium. So it's getting dangerous. Let's just lead with a land. Start with a Springleaf Drum. Let's grab a Forest. Could run on Sephiroth right here, but I think I'll just keep up the Adapt. We do find a Blade of the Blood Chief, so potentially next turn we are able to combo. The problem is we have to survive. And we are basically at 1 life because our opponent is able to use the Seal of Fire to shoot us, and they do have the DRC and we can't answer it. So I really doubt we will survive. Just 1 damage and we are dead. Down to 3 and we're dead. Okay. Those are some really quick games. Now we're sideboarding again. We could actually keep an Emrakul just to make our opponent shoot their face. Maybe that's better than the Stirrings. So just keep in 1 Emrakul. The Dismember costing us life. It's not really where we want to be at. Swordseize costs us life. Sieve of Existence has no real target. Yeah, let's do it like this. 1 Emrakul doesn't hurt. We'll go first now. And this end looks absolutely great. Let's keep it. We could lead with a Saga to trigger it earlier to grab a second blade in case our opponent has a removal for it. But I think I'll just lead with a Forest. Turn 2 Saga should still be plenty enough and allow us to have 1 more mana for a crucial turn potentially. I will run out the Broodscale into the Riftbolt because they do have to use it to get rid of the Broodscale. And we do have the Flashraker next turn as well. Yep, Flashraker into Sephiroth hopefully should also be pretty good. There's the DRC and the white mana. They are getting rid of our Saga. That's annoying. Definitely would have liked to keep the land around. To find a Malevolent Rumble, that's something. I'll go with a Halfling because that allows us to next turn play Halfling into Sephiroth to sacrifice the Halfling to the Sephiroth. Could also just sacrifice a Spawn though. Take 3 from the DRC. It's illegal attack pop-up because our opponent tried not to attack with the DRC. Good thing we get that pop-up. Haywire Might, that's life gain. I'll lead with the Flashraker into the Haywire Might. And I'll just leave the Spawn around, not equip the blade to anything, so we have more mana for next turn. And there's probably just removal for something here. Boros Charm dealing damage to us, sure. The Haywire Might here, I do feel pretty comfortable for now. Like we're at 13 life, opponent does draw a 4th card, so there is a chance we'll die. Arena of Glory, and they play creature with haste. Oh, they don't, Lava Spikers, sure. They play Chandra's Incinerator, okay. Incinerator is really nice with Arena of Glory. Damn, there is Incinerator. Okay, so it's getting a lot closer than I hoped it would. I do have to block right here, because otherwise we don't have black mana to cast Sephiroth. This Incinerator, ooh, okay, but we're just top decking gods, I guess. It's better to be lucky than good. Just a Sephiroth would have not been the easiest to go through here, but with that top deck, I guess we just have lethal. Well, GG, I guess. That's how combo decks work. On to the next one. Match number 2. We lost another die roll, but our hand looks pretty sweet. Let's keep it. Turn 1 Halfling, turn 2 Temple Kozilek's command. Let's roll. And multiple Flash Rakers. Now, everybody, that's pod racing. Opponent grabs an Undercity Sewers end of turn, and they get rid of a meticulous archive. So it's probably either Esper Flicker or Esper FrOculus. They shock in a Watery Grave and play up Psychic Frog, so it could still be both. All I know is that this Kozilek's command here will be absolutely delicious. Let's get rid of this Psychic Frog and create some token. It is Esper FrOculus. They discard the Oculus because they probably do have an Unearth. But we do have a second Kozilek's command and 2 Glaring Flash Rakers. So what you gonna do about it, opponent? They do have the pest control. That's annoying. Just float in 2 mana for the sake of it. Yep. No Unearth? Oh, they also have the Unearth. Okay. That's good for them. But they are down to 2 cards. And we can absolutely just take a couple of hits. Just lead with the first Flash Raker. Do I lead with the Stirrings? Yeah, let's lead with the Stirrings. Maybe find something else. We do find another Flash Raker. I'm just going for Flash Raker Tron. Could have grabbed the Broodscale because, well, that's our namesake card. But to be honest, the real combo is just having 3 Glaring Flash Rakers in play and casting a Kozilek's command. Opponent takes us with both. I'll just take the hit. Worst case, it's the Psychic Frog. It doesn't look like it. Flash Raker. Flash Raker triggers. Make some tokens. Deal damage. Flash Raker resolve. Maybe? No. Counterspell. Ah, but well, we do have another Flash Raker. Yup. So I think if we don't die now, we're pretty well off. I think I kind of do have to block the second one because I didn't flip the first one last turn. And if there is another Oculus, we would die. I think I can just get rid of that 1 mana source. Shouldn't hurt us too much. They bounce our Flash Raker and tap out for that. That's interesting. Unfortunately, don't have the mana to play the Flash Raker and the Kozilek's command afterwards. We do definitely have to get rid of the Oculus now. And they also have a Force of Negation. Okay, guess we're just that rough. On to sideboarding. Against the Esper FrOculus deck, we're bringing in 3 of our Sword Seizes to interact with their counter spells and potentially stop them from unearthing stuff. And we're bringing in 2 Dismember because it answers Psychic Frog most of the times, Oculus, and also Harbinger, which is really important. We could also bring in some number of Fatal Pushes to answer Frogs, but I really want to make sure that we are always able to cast the spell, and Dismember just works under Harbinger. We're bringing in that one. And we're shaving around the edges, getting rid of 1 Ancient Stirrings because those cards are all colored, getting rid of a Flash Raker, 1 Sephiroth, 1 Haywire Might, and 1 Blade of the Bloodchief. So let's run it back. We're going first, and our hands looks pretty decent. Let's keep it. Run out the Halfling and pass the turn. Won't immediately Flash Shocks and pushes our Halfling. Play the Drum and the Lantern. We could play the Broodscale. I think for now we're just going with the Broodscale. Should allow us to cast the Swordseize next turn with the Drum. Or we do just find a Black Source. Lead with the Swordseize. Opponent does have Harbinger and the Oculus. They also do have Consign and 2 counter spells. That's a lot to work through. I think I just get rid of the Consign because if opponent plays Harbinger next turn, we do have a Springleaf Drum to fix our mana. Just get rid of the Consign. And like this, we can just adapt the Broodscale and make the first token already. Opponent mills a Psychic Rock and doesn't grab a Swamp of the Marsh Flats. They do go for the Meticulous Archive. That's interesting because now their Harbinger is just shit. They go for Sink as a land. Play Harbinger, they just color screw themselves, and they don't have enough cards in the graveyard so that their Oculus would be good. And tapping out for Oculus right here would be dangerous. They tapped Springs, sure, so they do have counter spell up. Let's run out the Halfling. Really nice if it resolves. And I think I'll lead with the Springleaf Drum and try to bait our opponent into countering that one. Good thing about the Halfling is that this means Sephiroth will resolve next turn. Playing the Lantern here, because even if they counterspell, yes, they can play Oculus the turn after. That also means that they're tapped out. And if they tap out for Oculus right now, I think Sephiroth should be able to do a lot of work. Camera, move down. Hello. That looks like an Oculus. Oh, we just draw a blade. Sure. Let's go. So, we do have the win. We can even play an uncounterable Sephiroth. Only thing that they might have is a Subtlety, but that also just buys them a little time. Because they do have to chump away the Broodscale. Let's just run out this uncounterable Sephiroth. and present them the win. Nice. On to game number 3. For game number 3, I won't change anything. As already mentioned, you could bring in the Fatal Push. You could also bring in Gravedigger's Cage technically against their Persists. But we do have the Sogard Lantern to answer that plan, so I don't really think I want to play something proactively that maybe doesn't do anything that they can play around. So let's just run it back. Game number 3, our hand yet again looks really good. We do have Temple for turn 2 Flash Rakers. We do have Dismember to get rid of Oculus or Harbinger, and we do have a Blade as a turn 1 play. I really like where we're at. We also draw an Urza Saga. That's also pretty interesting. I think I'll lead with the Temple because of that. That we can play turn 2 Saga and make it awkward for our opponent to run out a Harbinger. Consigned our Blade. Sure. Consign on the Blade. That's fine by me. Play the Saga and run out the first Flash Raker. Now it's really awkward for our opponent to play the counter spells or play Harbingers. Counter spell would just be good. Not the counter spells, but Harbinger is really awkward now. Because even if they do play the Harbinger, we still have a colorless sword, which is really important for us. We do have the Dismember as an answer, but if they play the Harbinger this turn, our Saga still makes colorless mana. If they play it next turn, we can even make constructs, so Harbinger is basically just stranded in their hand, kind of useless. They grab a Surveillant. And they do hit an Oculus. It's sometimes better to be lucky than good. There's also an Unearth. Sure. Playing it now means that they can reanimate it again, but it plays around counter spells. So it is somewhat of a toss-up. If they have the second Unearth, I think is less likely than them having more counter spells because they do play the Fall 4 and they have the Unearth. Sure, okay. Yeah. I'll just take the hit from the Manifest. We could make a construct right here. I think I just want to play Rumble and the Halfling if possible. Let's just float a mana. And I'll grab a Blade. The Crip or Flash Raker. Lead with a Rumble. Belsnare even. Now we have a Halfling. Fortunately there's no attacks for us. And I assume this Oculus will unfortunately run away with it. They do attack with the Manifest tokens. I just hope they don't have a removal and that this is a misplay. There's a fetch. Is it a Fatal Push? Please don't also have a Fatal Push opponent. They shock in the Watery Grave. What is it? It is a Fatal Push. So yeah, I'll just take the hit if they have a second Oculus under one of those manifests, which is dead. Yeah, they don't. They are down to 1 card, but I don't really know if there's anything that can draw us out of this one. That absolutely can't. So we're dead. On to the next. Round number 3. We want a die roll. Woohoo! And our hand looks great. Let's keep it. I will lead with the Halfling. This does somehow conceal what we're playing. Like our opponent could think we're playing Yawgmoth. And if the Halfling doesn't die, we can play Broodscale and the Blade next turn. Or we could run out a Flash Raker. That was also really sweet. But I think because with us having 2 Broodscales, I will lead with the first one right now. And also just the Blade. Here you go, opponent. We have the combo on board. Do you have a way of stopping us? Another Undercity Sewers deck. Necrodominance. Ooh, that's a spice ball. They sure have an answer for this Broodscale, right? Marsh Flats. They grab a Swamp. And how do you kill our Broodscale? Which flavor of black removal shall it be? Because I bet there is a lot of those. Looks like the Black March. Yep, March of Wretched Sorrow, but they are tapped out now. Draw Springleaf from that. Good draw. Just had 1 more mana, we would have killed them. There's a Necrodominance. Do you draw the Soul Spike opponent? They pay 10, so there pretty much has to be a Soul Spike here. Yep. But it was only 1 Soul Spike. We have to discard a whole bunch of cards. But we don't really have a way of dealing with the... Do I grab... I think I just have to go for the Haywire Might with the Saga here. To deal with the Necrodominance. Draw another Flash Raker. Vexing Bobble also looks pretty sweet, but I think I just have to grab the Haywire Might to get rid of the Necrodominance. Just hit our opponent for 1. Attack might have been a mistake, because if we didn't attack, we could have made a construct end of turn. There is a Deluge. Just get rid of the Necrodominance. Opponent also paid 4 life, which is an interesting amount. Because that's still overpaid against the Blade trigger. They shock in the Watery Grave. Didn't draw a mana source. That's kind of fucked. Now we're down to 1 land. Could grab the Vexing Bobble now to stop them from Soul Spiking. I think I just have to grab the lantern and cycle to draw a card because we have to find a land drop. Let's just do that. Just draw a second Sephiroth. Ah, that's unfortunate. No, we're not really doing a whole lot of anything. And we don't even have a second mana to cast a Malevolent Rumble now as the Shieldred. And we even draw the Rumble. No! No, 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 no. Please don't let this be how it ends. Us just not drawing a single land the entire game. Keeping 3 and just dying to Urza's Saga's dying. Don't get rid of one of the Flash Rakers. And they do also play Psychic Frog. Okay. Land, land, land. That's not a land. I guess I'll run out the Vexing Bauble. They suspend Profane Tutor with our Vexing Bauble in play. That's interesting. Psychic Frog also triggers the Shieldred again, which is annoying, and we don't draw land. Let's just pick it up. I'm bringing in all of our Sword Seizers because I definitely want to make sure they don't have the Necrodom, and also getting rid of some other cards sometimes really makes the hand awkward, especially with Soul Spike needing just a huge amount of cards in hand. And I'm also bringing in Seaver of Existence and Nature's Claim as additional answers against it. We're taking out 3 of the Ancient Stirrings, 1 Blade, 1 Lantern, 1 Sephiroth, and 1 Flash Raker. Absolutely go first. And this hand looks sweet. Let's keep it. Once again, we might fall into the trap of Urza's Saga dying and thus missing land drops afterwards. But I'm positive everything will work. We'll just lead with a Halfling and see what our opponent has. Hopefully no removal for it. Actually looks like the Halfling survives. What? That's crazy. I did not expect that to happen. So let's play the Flash Raker. We can still play the Rumble next turn. No Fatal Push, no March. I am dead. And just a tap Hawk. No discard spell. What's going on? Opponent, do you even want to play with me? Do you want to participate in this game? Just grab a forest and run out the Rumble. Those are all of our answers for the Necrodominance. Sit our opponent for 2, and I guess they're probably just gonna play Necrodominance right here. Because why would they otherwise keep their hand? Because I'm just not doing anything beforehand. There's the Necrodom, yes. How many Soul Spikes do you have? They go down to 2, so they want to make sure they have the Soul Spikes. Holy shit. What? They didn't have it? Okay. Or to game 3. Then there's also nothing spectacular, but we'll still keep it because we can turn 1 Sword Seize and run out turn 2 and turn 3 Flash Raker. And maybe, once again, their hand is just reliant on the Necrodom. Ooh, even draw Blade, that's a good draw. It's just Sword Seize and let's see what they've got. It's exactly that. They just need that Necrodom. Just run out the first Flash Raker naked. We'll just eat a March next turn, but 1 March is gone. Also they're tapping out next turn if they do that. And then we can play Flash Raker into Blade, start doing some stuff. Just don't have drawn another Necrodom, please. Yep, that's just a March. We're fine with that. Ooh, we draw Sephiroth. That's also interesting. I think I'm just playing the Flash Raker into the Blade. Next turn we can play Sephiroth to sacrifice a spawn to draw a card. I will just play another March, probably to get rid of the Flash Raker. Yep, and now the true grind begins. The only real grind tool they do have is the Necrodominance, so as long as they don't find one, we should be Gucci. And Rumble also sounds pretty interesting. I think I'll just lead with the Rumble, because then we can play both. Find another Flash Raker. Sure, but I will lead with Sephiroth. Just draw land. That's unfortunate, but we have to get through the libraries somehow. With our Saga proccing next turn, we can also just proactively grab a Haywire Might to make sure that they don't get to use a Necrodom, even if they top deck one in the future. They just pass the turn. I think I just make a construct right here. Because we can just sacrifice a construct, draw a card to Sephiroth. And we're grabbing the Haywire Might. Because as I already said, only real way for us to lose the game is if they are able to use a Necrodom. Yeah, the Feather Profane to get rid of the Sephiroth. Kind of annoying, but okay. Let's just equip the construct. Play Vexing Bauble. That should also stop them from doing some stuff. We did tap out of the Haywire Might right now, but with a Vexing Bauble in play, they wouldn't be able to use Soul Spikes. We did mill the 1 forest. Okay, that fetch land was unnecessary. Roll the Flash Raker into the opponent for 4. They are at a really healthy life total. But we do have the Vexing Bauble to stop them from doing a whole lot of stuff. And if we just draw 1 Kozilek's Command or something like that, we basically win on the spot. Position also just a dead draw from them. Draw a Seaver of Existence. We could keep it back to have an answer for Necrodom with a Vexing Bauble in play. I think I'm kind of happy. I just want to make sure that we are able to kill our opponent ASAP. We'll just run out the Thief of Existence like this. And also just use the spawn to make the construct a little bit more dangerous. Tutor will just be countered by the bauble, or they just keep it in exile. 5 mana, what is that? The last march, probably? It's a Me-Took Massacre. It is a massacre. Now that gets rid of, fortunately enough, only gets rid of the Flesh Raker. Now next turn our opponent is dead. And they just have a land. This probably should be it. Maybe their last card was a blue card that they couldn't cast all the time. It was. Stock Up. Not really sure if I like Stock Up in the Necrodominance deck. Anyway, on to the next one. For the next round, we're just absolutely relaxing, laying back. We won the die roll. We're going first. Our hand looks okay. We don't really have colorless mana, but we have them 11 in turn 2. So let's give it a shot. We're just sitting here chilling. Like everybody just scoop down. It's like in that one Simpsons episode where Homer was stuck in an avalanche with Mr. Burns, and they're in the hut. They're just relaxing even further and further. Opponent leads with a hallowed fountain into double Mox Mishra's Bauble. Oh, I'm kind of happy I do have this Hellwire Might, not gonna lie. I think I'm just getting rid of that Mox. Opponent is down to 3 cards. They don't have Metalcraft anymore. They were not able to play 2-drop last turn. Grab the Overgrown Tomb and run out the Halfling. And then I'll happily pass the turn to my opponent. But as I already said, we're just being chilling. Grab yourself an ice cream and enjoy the show. Ooh, we draw Blade of the Blood Chief. That's also a good draw. But let's just lead with the Rumble. We do find another land. And it's also a land that makes colorless mana. That's great. So we can play the Fleshbreaker. Please no Metallic Rebuke. Please no Metallic Rebuke. Please no Metallic Rebuke. Please no Metallic Rebuke. No Metallic Rebuke. We are Gucci, everybody. There's the Tamio. Turn 3 with no backup. Sure. Let's just get rid of the Tamio. Could equip the blade right here to the Fleshbreaker to deal some more damage, but I think I just want the spawns to stick around for Sephiroth next turn. Another Tamio. You go, opponent. You've got my approval. Thumbs up to you. I want to play an uncounterable Sephiroth. What do you think about this, opponent? Let's sacrifice a spawn to draw a card. Do have a handful of triggers. And let's just make sure we flip Sephiroth. Let's get rid of this Tamio. Stacking those triggers is really annoying. Wish there was an auto stack function for that. That wouldn't suck. So let's equip the Fleshbreaker now. Flip Sephiroth. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang. Let's hit you. So we do have the Blood Artist emblem. We have another Sephiroth coming. This looks pretty over to me. Pretty good. I think we can sit back up again. Now this Whip Flare also does not really do anything because we can just grow the Fleshbreaker out of range. Oop. Like even if it resolved the Sephiroth, it would have just been lethal. Okay, on to sideboarding. Against Affinity, we are bringing in the 2 Dismember, Nature's Claim, Thief of Existence, and a Pithing Needle. Getting rid of the Soulguide Lantern as our bad Urza Saga target. And shaving around the edges. So let's do it like this. I'm also kind of thinking of maybe putting in the Toxic Deluge actually. Because they often just kill you in one really big swing. So paying a couple of life even to get rid of some big constructs could actually be really clutch. Maybe we'll do that next game. But let's just run it back for game 2 first. Now this hand is really greedy because we absolutely have to draw a green source. But I will be greedy. Let's keep it. If we draw a green source, we do have Nature's Claim and the Hellwire Might. And we can filter for everything else with all those Malevolent Rumbles. So let's just pray to God. Or whatever you pray to. For all I care, you can pray to the Spaghetti Monster. I am not judging. Oh, it takes us with Tamio. We take the hit. That's unfortunately no green source. Because we'll just run out the blade. Equip the Haywire Might. Yeah, hit you for 1, opponent. Take that. They did not even crack the clue token end of turn. Interesting. Looks like a Cannoneer. Yep. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. And we do draw a green source now. So let's play the Boseiju. But what do we do now? Green source is so late. think for now I'm actually just getting rid of that Ursa Saga, that will tutor. Just pass it back. We will make their Cannoneer unblockable with the Tamio, but what else should I do? There's not really that much we can do, and them grabbing something like a Shadow Spear would absolutely blow. Portable Hole. That also does kind of mess with what we want to do. But to be fair, they're tapped out now, so we could just combo them with Broodscale, Malevolent Rumble, maybe? No? I don't really think so. Let's float a mana. Grab a Springleaf Drum, run out the Flashbreaker, and play Malevolent Rumble. Just hoping they won't kill us now. They need 2 more artifacts to enter for us to die. They do have the Ursa Saga, so they could just kill us on board. If they have the Tamio clue, they do have the artifacts they grab off Ursa Saga, and if they just make a construct, that's enough artifacts for us to die. Doesn't look like they're making the construct, though there is a chance, but they just need 1 more artifact. That's 1 more artifact. Okay. And was kind of greedy. Got punished. Happens. My mistake. So let's just run back. No need for the delusion. We'll go first. And this is not as greedy. Let's keep it. Just lead with the Catacombs to grab our Overgrown Tomb. They just have a bridge. Overgrown Tomb tapped. Ooh, we draw another Eldrazi Temple. So next turn we could go nuts. Do I grab the Saga? I think I have to grab the Saga to find a blade. Just pass it through. I would have kind of liked to play the Forest next turn, to play double Broodscale. I think we just have to play the Saga next turn to grab a blade to actually threaten to combo. That's a good draw. That allows us to get rid of Emery and also create a bunch more spawns. It's really nice. That's really nice. Ooh, they do have a weird flare. Yikes. That unfortunately does it. Now we also... Without the whip flare, we would have had so many tokens that we could have just comboed through the spell bomb. No, that's not an option. But we can still run out both Broodscales. But maybe running out both Broodscales would be too dangerous because of potential second whip flare. So let's just run out the one and adapt it. One floats the mana. Do they have a Pething Needle? They failed to find. Oh no, there was a Haywire Might. How did I miss that Haywire Might? For a second, I honestly thought they failed to find. They get rid of the Broodscale. I think we are able to get it back. The problem now is that they're able to answer our Saga. So we're still looking for blades. Another Dismember. Let's just run out the second Broodscale, adapt that one as well. And let's pass the turn. Our opponent is somewhat low on resources, like they have 4 cards in hand. But they are low on mana. They can't even play a cannon here. And there's a second Portable Hole. That's where our Broodscales are. They are just deep, deep in the hole. No fancy shenanigans. I could have bounced it with the Spellbomb, like actually kind of bedazzled that they didn't do that. Thief of Existence is really good here, because it allows us to answer. They are able to bounce it to draw a card, which is annoying, but still makes life more difficult for them. We're just keeping open the Adept or potential Boseiju. Still have to Dismember, but we're just not hitting our opponent. We only have those spawns, but we have nothing to do with them so far. Latest patch the Thief. So if we get rid of an artifact in response to that, like, that doesn't do anything right. Let's get rid of the Portable Hole. Could have also gotten rid of the Spellbomb right here, because they couldn't activate it in response. No, they bounced the Thief. Basically countered that dispatch with our Boseiju and got back this Broodscale. It's really nice. Tamio, we still have Dismember. No need to use it now. And another Broodscale. Just get rid of Tamio. I won't play another Broodscale. I'll just attack with these 2. Keep open the Adept because there's still the chance they have another Whip Flare. And if we just play another Broodscale, we basically die to that. Should have used the Eldrazi Temple for the Dismember, so we could adapt both. That was my bad. It's the habit of using the basic for those things. Opponent has a Sword Cast for 4 mana. Sure. More spawns. Another Temple. Even more spawns. And now I will run out this one Broodscale, just like this, even though it dies to board wipe, because we do threaten lethal that way. Mox Opal doesn't do anything. Looks like that is like, ooh, Flashbreaker. That's good. Ooh, like myself a Flashbreaker right here. We did already use most of the Broodscales. Still have that one here. We're able to ping our opponent some more. And they scoop it up. Nice. On to the next one. Another one die roll. Let's go! And the hand has potential to combo really quickly, so I guess we're keeping it. Question with a hand like this is, do you play the Saga turn 1? And I'm not sure, but we have so many other lands, I will just do it. I will at least try it. Like, I don't think I have done it like this before. I think I've always been more cautious with my Sagas and always played them as the second land drop, the earliest. I think right now, without not knowing what we are up against, might work. Now we're playing against energy, so it probably won't work, but that's a whole different story. And we draw a Flesh Raker. That's also good. So let's lead with the Flesh Raker to make our opponent be scared. Should have maybe played the Rumble, because it would have made it more likely that our opponent might tap out the weekend combo. I think the Flesh Raker might be too scary, that they might just use their removal right here. Yep. And also an Ocelot Bride. That's a good start for our opponent. Load a mana, grab a blade. Wait, are we able to combo here? We can grab a land, play the Broodscale, but we are missing 1 mana to combo, I think. I think we're just short. Do we get rid of the Guide or do we get rid of the Ocelot? I think I get rid of the Ocelot, because if they have a Goblin Bombardment, getting rid of this thing that creates multiple bodies is more important. Also playing the Malevolent Rumble right here, so I'm only paying for 1. Equals 1. Sephiroth sounds like a decent draw. We're passing the turn. Do they use their energy to pump the Guide? They do. Okay, so we just take the hit. Bloodstrand. And there is a Bombardment, so I'm glad we got rid of the Ocelot. They shoot our spawn. Sure. I think I'm just running out Sephiroth. Together with the Eldrazi Temple next turn, we should be able to just combo. Let's play Sephiroth and make our opponent use their resources to get rid of Sephiroth. Sephiroth is really good against their Bombardment. They have a second discharge. That's annoying. I guess it's just what we have to deal with. They just grab a Parlor. Kind of hoping that they just play Flage to get rid of Sephiroth now, though we are able to combo them next turn. They keep their card on top, so it's probably no Flage. They hit another land drop. What is it? It is Flage. Okay. They do get rid of our Sephiroth. So now we're hoping their last card is no second discharge. But honestly, they might have kept the Flage on top in the spot like this, because it is a safe answer against Sephiroth. So here's hoping. Here goes nothing. The worst thing is, we might still just die to escaped haste Flage. They managed to escape Flage with haste. They just 6 to us like that, and then they sacrifice his stuff. But even worse, they also do have the flying right here, so there is nothing guaranteed for us. We do go infinite, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot. So, we just talked to our opponent for a bit. If they kill us this turn, with flying and so on, which is dying, they do have the second survey land. So they just have 1 more card in the grave next turn, we are dead. No fetch land, so there is not necessarily the card. They do have something big for 5 mana. What? Seasoned Pyromancer, okay. Might do it if they hit other bodies. They do make the elemental token, so they do have it with the flying from the God of Souls. GG. Against Boros, we're taking out the Vexing Bauble because it does nothing. Take out a Blade of the Blood Chief because it's not really the best thing we can have, and we still have access to a lot of those. They also are able to interrupt our combo really decently with all the discharges, Goblin Bombardment and such. Also getting rid of Flesh Raker because it is really susceptible to the removal. And we're shaving 3 Ancient Stirrings because most things we bring in are black cards. We bring in all of our removals. 3 Fatal Push, 2 Dismember, 1 Toxic Deluge, and we also bring in the Pissing Needle to get rid of Ajani or Bombardment. So let's run it like this. We go first, and we don't have colored mana, but we do have the combo. I will be greedy. We are on the play, we don't even draw the card, but we do still have 2 lands. We just have to draw 1 land. So we'll just start with the Saga, run out the Blade, and pass the turn. Now we just want to draw lands. Just give us lands. Our spells are really good. We draw a Deluge. That's a good card, but we don't have the mana for it, so run out the Saga. Like, we're fine with drawing any land, even if it's not a colored one, because then we can just grab the Springleaf Drum with the Saga and run out the Flesh Raker. Just if we want to draw a land. Not even picky which one. Just give me a land. would absolutely prefer a colored one, but beggars can't be choosers, right? Yeah, well, we're not talking about this. Boo! What a leak. Boom, boom, boom. Well, we don't talk about the loss against energy right here. That's just the thing that happened because I'm greedy like that. But other than that, the deck just feels great. Like, our other loss was really unfortunate. Oculus opponent just had about everything. Sometimes that's just what happens. Really like the list right now. Still think there's some tweakings you can do to the mana base. I've been thinking about re-implementing the basic fetch land. I don't recall the name of it. The one that you can crack to grab any basic to play wastes. I really think the biggest upside for the Gruul variant is the mana base, because you can play Growth and also the Pain land. So we don't have as many tri-lands, and I don't really ever have a problem of casting my black spells for some reason. I always have access to my black mana, but I regularly don't have access to my colorless mana. So I think maybe getting rid of those to put in, what's it face? The other fetch land. You know, the Horizon Canopy. No, Horizon Canopy is not it. What's the name of that fetch land? What the hell? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So like, get rid of those, bring in that fetch, only play 2 forests, play 1 waste, only play 1 Boseiju and 1 swamp. Playing a swamp might also be good, because Harbinger is around. Harbinger is annoying. But I do really like the Dismembers right here. Dingo, for example, has ditched the Dismember right now. But I think having Dismember as an answer against Overlord and Catram Hose is really nice. But with Edge of Eternities right around the corner, maybe that's not the threat you have to deal with. Maybe the threat is a 5 mana 4/6 that's the first cameo of Batman in the Riddler. So we'll have to see how things evolve now. This is the last league I will play before Edge of Eternities hits the live server. I don't know how fast I'm able to rent cards as well. That's also another question and problem. But I'm sure we'll figure something out. So have a good one. Hope you enjoyed the league. And we'll see you in the next.